right, so fans in Montreal, well, maybe not as happy, but then in Saskatchewan, we know fans, they are perhaps a little nervous for what could come because the Roughriders need a victory. They are fighting for their playoff lives tonight, trying to catch Hamilton for that crossover. And boys, we've heard a lot about the word spark. You hear it in romantic comedies. You hear it when it comes to your starting quarterback. And Mason Fine, the young 25-year-old, a lot of pressure on his shoulders tonight. How do we think he's feeling right now?
Can I replace the word spark for wins?
Okay, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
We need a spark. No. We need wins. We need wins. But how he's feeling, Lindsay, I'm sure that he's excited for this opportunity. I mean, look, nobody gets in his position to be here as a professional quarterback unless you're a gamer. At all levels, he's been great at every level he's played at. So folks here might not know who he is, but go and Google him. You'll see the kid's been great everywhere he's been, and he'll get a chance to show it tonight, although we know he's got a battle in front of him, uphill battle, but I'm sure he's up for it or he wouldn't be here.
Yeah, Davis, you talk about the word spark meaning win, or it could mean change. They needed to change, because that locker room and maybe the football team was losing hope in what was happening from week to week. And, when you start out 4-1 and you finish the season like the Saskatchewan Roughriders have, there's a lot of pressure. Certainly with the Grey Cup being there in Regina, Craig Dickinson and his staff have all been feeling that pressure. And I understand it's on Dickey to make that call. He made that call, and he's doing what's best for this football team moving forward. And Mason Fine is, he doesn't know any different. He's too wet behind the ears, and he's going to go out there and ball and go through incrementally his reads and his progressions and try to make good decision after good decision. But this football team is just not the quarterback play. You got to play better defense. You got to play better special teams, and they got to put it all together here if they want a chance to stay in the race.
Well, Mason Fine, in my opinion, he's playing with house money. Who's expecting him to go out there and actually perform at a high level because he just hadn't had opportunities? I think he's thrown less than 40 passes in his CFL career in 2 years, so not much is expecting out of him. And my question is to Coach Dixon, are you actually putting your best product on the field, or do you actually think Mason Fine gives you a better chance to win than Cody Fajardo? Or are you saying, okay, I need to make a move because we haven't been winning and they're expecting to change, and the biggest change we can make is with my quarterback? So that's my question I would like to ask him and get the honest answer from. Because for me, like I mentioned earlier, yes, Cody hadn't been playing well, but he still gives you the best chance. He's been in this position before, and this is a must-win situation, and this is what you're resorting to?
It sounds to me like you believe that the quarterback change is not because he gets the best chance to win, but it's because you think that change has to be made.
Change has to be made, and you can't change a running back or a receiver, and no one's going to look at that. They're going to look at the most important position. The most important position in an organization is the quarterback, and your quarterback hasn't been performing well. It hasn't been all on him, but individually he hasn't been performing well, and they got a quarterback who they think can get it done.
To the pressure cooker that's there, and to that point, this staff said that they were seriously considering making a change after the first bye the Saskatchewan had.
They're saying that.
They're saying that now. And then the bye week happens this past week for the Riders, and they felt like they needed that win, that spark, that change, and they went to it. And is the right timing? Certainly seems iffy because you got a veteran guy that's a fighter like Cody Fajardo who's been there, done that in a must-win game. I'm with you, Milt.
And when is Cody going to play? They said he was going to play. When is he going to play?
I guess we'll have to find out and see. And Cody Fajardo did say he will do everything in his power to support Mason Fine, but yes, plenty of pressure on his shoulder. Meanwhile, I'm looking to the men beside me. I'm calling them the three wise men today, as here are their picks. Ches, you like Reggie Begelton to go over 64.5 receiving yards. Matt, you've got Keon Schaefer-Baker to go over 42.5 receiving yards. Yeah, and Milt liking Jake Mayer to go under 269.5 passing yards. And if you hit all three, you're looking at plus 796. All right, there they are. Mason Fine and the Saskatchewan Roughriders desperately trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. We'll take you to Mosaic Stadium coming up after the break.
A little bit of trouble now to the end zone. Touchdown. Drops it in there. Now they get it to Philpott. What a move, and he's going to take it inside the 50 and further. What a play. Oh, pressure's coming. It's blocked. Saskatchewan football. Blaze Brown. End zone low. McInnes has it.
Both teams needing this one.
Yes, the City of Regina set to host the fourth and final game of Week 20 in the Canadian Football League. Calgary's path forward is set. A playoff game in BC against the Lions in the West semifinal. On the other side, no shortage of storylines. The Riders must win to stay alive in the playoff race, and they will do it with Mason Fine at quarterback.
Yes, it's been a few stories, a few headlines here this week for Saskatchewan with Mason Fine taking over for Cody Fajardo, the starter since 2019. Tonight, in a game that the Riders have to keep their playoff hopes alive, they will start 25-year-old Mason Fine out of North Texas. He takes over for Cody Fajardo. Jake Mayer trying to bounce back from a game that they thought they had until Hamilton in the final minute came back and won it. Mayer had a bumpy first half in that game, a much better second half. This is a team that's playing all their starters, even though they can't get any higher in the standings or lower. They're going to play their starters, and Mayer wants to keep building.
Jake Mayer taking over from a veteran quarterback earlier in the season. Mason Fine getting an opportunity to do the same with the entire year on the line. A very interesting decision, no doubt a storyline we will follow as we work our way through this game tonight. As we mentioned, Calgary, after that win last night by the BC Lions, knows where they are headed. West semifinal will be at BC Place to kick off the postseason, and they will kick off this game. Paredes drops it into the arms of Mario Alford, and we are underway in Regina on a Saturday evening, and Alford takes it back just shy of the 30. And here's a look at 25-year-old Mason Fine.
Well, he's attempted 42 passes in his CFL career so far, completed 28 of them. That's just under 67%. Has thrown 2 touchdown passes and 3 interceptions in real limited play. But Craig Dickinson felt that they needed to shake things up. They needed a spark on offense, needed to score more points, and they think that Mason Fine gives them a better chance to do that.
He'll start on his own 30. 3 options out to his left. They'll give it to Jamal Morrow. Great to have him back in the lineup for this offense. And he's got a first down on his first touch of the ball game.
Well, this is really important to get one of their 2 in either Frankie Hickson or Jamal Morrow back. It's Morrow. He's coming off the 6-game injured list and establishing a run this time of year. Game they must have, balancing the offense.
Morrow hasn't played since week 11. And they'll give it back to him again. This time he is going to be wrapped up and taken down almost immediately. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage, but certainly no further.
Yeah, his last action was back on August 19th versus the BC Lions, and it's missed 6 games in a row. But in play calling for a young guy like Mason Fine, get that run game going early gives him that much more confidence.
2nd and 9, near side, and was looking to get it to Shaq Evans. Jonathan Moxey there in coverage and knocks it away. That'll bring up 3rd down and an opportunity to punt this ball away.
You know, you're going to see a little bit of pressure, I'm sure, from Brent Monson and this Calgary defense to test the resolve, I guess, of Mason Fine and whether or not he will be poised in that pocket. A little hit early on just to send a message from Jameer Thurman, the middle linebacker.
Well, the guy he's taking over for has been hit a few times so far this season. That was a clear path for Thurman. Benvik gets this away. High kick hanging up there and will be taken at the 20. 45-yard kick returned by Sean Bain with Peyton Logan out of the lineup tonight.
Jake Mayer's first start against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. These 2 rivals really had to wait till the last 2 games of the regular season, haven't faced each other all year long. And as I mentioned off the top, Jake Mayer is trying to bounce back. He had a real shaky first half against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 3 interceptions in his first 5 series, but bounced back and had the go-ahead points with just over a minute to go. And Hamilton stole that one.
I believe he's only thrown one interception in the second half so far this season. Just over 2 minutes gone. We are scoreless here at Mosaic. First crack for this Calgary offense. Jake Mayer wide open. That's a completion to Trey Dukes. He had his first CFL touchdown last week. 13 yards here for Dukes.
Yeah, good start. First down. You're going to see Dukes just sit down right up here and watch how Jake Mayer, a little play action fake, doesn't have any pressure, solid pocket, and delivers a strike. Get things started.
Solid pocket, pretty much the storyline the entire season for the Calgary Stampeders. They've allowed just 15 sacks between Jake Mayer and Bo Levi Mitchell.
Amazing how different these two teams are in that regard.
Couldn't be any more different. Here's Kadeem Carey. Couldn't be any better this season. He's had a phenomenal campaign and a great pickup on first down. We were talking about the heavy sack differential. This is almost unbelievable.
Well, just really amazing. First of all, 45 sacks leads the league, 15 allowed, best in the league, at a plus 30. 57 different than the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I mean, it's not close. The Riders have given up 66 sacks. The next closest team is double figures away, and Calgary Stampeders with just 15.
Tommy Stevens, who's usually pretty steady in these situations, looks like he may have come up just short, and they didn't need much. Basically, the way they spot this ball, no gain on the play, and that'll bring up third down. Let's get another look at it here from above.
Amari Henderson is not in the lineup for the Riders tonight. Blaze Brown is playing halfback, and Jeremy Clark has gone out to corner. I think it was Brown that got there initially, number 28. He gets his hands around Stevens and pulls him back to hold him short. They'll go on third.
Mosaic would erupt early if they could stop him again. Big number 15 behind his offensive line, takes it out to the right, lunges ahead, flags on the play, does have enough for the first down this time around.
Nice confidence from Tommy Stevens there, just to be patient, take the snap, freeze for a second, not just
offside.
drive.
Saskatchewan number 6. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Not just drive right behind Sean McHugh in the center, just be patient, find a soft spot, and take it. Gets the first down.
First year for Stevens with the Stampeders, and I know he's just handling the short yardage, but he's done it very well. He's accepted the role and executed it extremely well. He's got 8 rushing touchdowns in those short yardage situations. First and 10 on the 54, 10.5 minutes of play here in the first quarter. We're scoreless. Kadeem Carey, another big push ahead. This will go for a first down. Oh, Dietrich Mills in the game, rather. As we are going to see quite a bit of both of them, and Mills has been sensational when given the opportunity as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Peyton Logan is out of the lineup tonight. That's the guy who usually gives Kadeem Carey a break, and they'll platoon him in. But this, for tonight, it'll be Dietrich Mills. Snuck him in there after the short yardage, giving Kadeem Carey a bit of a rest here, and he comes off that left side with a nice run.
Dietrich Mills averaging 6.4 yards per carry this year as well. Those are Kadeem Carey type numbers. Now a completion on the far side, first of the game for Reggie Beggleton. Let's take a look at this Calgary offense presented by Expedia.
Hugh Thornton, that starting left tackle, the third now. Derek Dennis went down. Josh Coker took over. He got hurt. Hugh Thornton struggled a little bit in the game against Hamilton. We'll see if he bounces back. There's Kadeem Carey trying to catch James Butler, who passed him last night for the BC Lions. He got over 1,000 yards, was number 1. Carey wants to close that gap again.
And Carey is back in beside Jake Mayer, and they'll give it to him, and he finds a ton of room right up the middle. That's a first down. And the ground attack of the Stampeders in fine form here in the early going.
Sean McHugh, their center, is coming on. He's come off over the last few weeks off the injured list earlier on, and has taken some time to settle in, but he gets up on that second level and gets to Darnell Sankey. Darnell Sankey comes in basically leading the league in tackles. He's gone back and forth with Santos Knox, but you get on Sankey, you got to block him to get your run game going.
3 carries for the running back so far. They go for 10, 11, and 12 yards. Now they'll get it out to Bain. Bain breaks 1 tackle. Couldn't do it again. Eventually tracked down against this Riders starting defense.
Well, I highlighted Pete Robertson out at that edge because I want to see him against Hugh Thornton and see if Hugh Thornton has settled in a little bit more and start number 3 and how Pete Robertson might take advantage of that. There's one of the top tacklers in the Canadian Football League, the leader, and Darnell Sankey, 104 defensive tackles coming in, and that's what I talked about with Blaise Brown. He is now at halfback. Jeremy Clark goes from halfback outside to corner.
Blaise Brown played in 9 games last season. This is just his 4th game this year. Does have an interception in those 4 games. AC Leonard is down on the field being looked at right now. We will step away and we'll be back as they take a look at AC Leonard. For James Butler in Edmonton last night to take over the ground attack lead, but Kadeem Carey, get the sense he's going to track him down.
Yeah, 130 plus. Yeah, Carey with some good runs already here tonight, and see, he's just a couple of carries away from taking that lead again. We'll see that race in real time.
Dedrick Mills in the game. He has a 100-yard game under his belt this season as well, and very limited opportunity. Mayer with 3 options to his right. Looks that way, throws that way, incomplete in the area of Jalen Philpott.
You know, when you take a look at it's going to be the 3rd down, and Riders defense is going to bend a little, not break there. I mean, take a look at this offensive lineup, and I showed you the running backs in Kadeem Carey and Dedrick Mills we'll see tonight, but still no Malik Henry for the Calgary Stampeders. Kamar Jordan also still out. Luther Akunavanu also not in the roster, on the roster for this game tonight because they're injured, not because Dave Dickinson decided to sit them.
Working their way back, practicing this week, a few of those guys. Paredes, and he sneaks it through, and Calgary opens the scoring on the road in Regina on the leg of Paredes. Mason Fine will get the ball when we return. Well, congratulations, kid. You're the starting quarterback of the Roughriders.
Yeah, busy week here in Saskatchewan when the news came down that Mason Fine, 25 years old, 2-time Oklahoma High School Player of the Year, University of North Texas. So Friday Night Lights.
Huge numbers.
Type of environment, yeah, absolutely. Huge passing numbers, athletic, can escape. Accurate passer, at least he has been throughout practice, but it's different when the lights are on.
He'll turn around and hand it off to Morrow, who absolutely has nowhere to go, driven back, and lost yards for this Riders offense.
Taron Vaughn up front will start at left tackle for Andrew Lauderdale. See if he can solidify that offensive line a little bit more. Dan Clark getting a little better with every single game back from the injured list. And then in the receiving core and running back area, Jamal Morrow, obviously his return so important to get balance in the offense.
2nd and 11 for Fine. Pressure coming from Calgary. Gets it away just in time down the field, and he drops it in there for Mitch Picton. Big catch for Picton for his quarterback here.
Yeah, absolutely. Going over the middle, and not only good catch for Picton, but I like the poise from Mason Fine on this one. What he did here was trust his protection. He knew that Jamal Morrow could pick up the blitzer, who was Cam Judge, from the linebacking core, and he stood in there nicely.
Cody Fajardo now in at quarterback. We were told that we'd see both of them. Interesting that it comes now after Mason Fine with his first completion of the game. They go to Fajardo. Short pickup, and now Fine will come back out. So it could be one of those nights here for the Riders against this Calgary defense.
Well, there he is. He's still getting better with time. 13 sacks for 33-year-old Sean Lemon. That's 2nd in the CFL. Cameron Judge leads in the big play department. And Jonathan Moxey has 11 knockdowns. That's a league-leading 11 knockdowns.
2nd and 9 for Fine. And that'll be enough for a first down as he gets it into the hands of Braden Lenius. And the offense will stay on the field, marching into Calgary territory.
6th start now for Braden Lenius as he comes back to the lineup from his tryout in the National Football League. And Lenius just Little hop there, finds a soft spot in the zone from Calgary and sits down in it.
Couple of completions for 24 yards on this drive for Mason Fine. One to Picton, one to Lenius. This time he fakes the handoff, moves out to his right. He's going to take off on the run, and he will get out of bounds inside the Calgary 40 to a round of applause from the crowd here at Mosaic.
Well, I like it too because, you know, Mason Fine, first of all, shows that he's got some speed when he's taking off and running with the football, but also when you run this ride in the side here to Jamal Morrow, sometimes you got to pull it. If you pull it, you're going to widen the defensive line a little bit more, so those inside run lanes for Morrow are open up. You can get them open if you pull it sometimes and get the edge.
Cody Fajardo back into the game, stands there in the shotgun. 3 options out to his left. He'll turn around and hand it off. And there's nowhere to go for Morrow on the 2nd and 2, and that'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, Calgary's going to just basically load the line of scrimmage and gap cancel right here. They're just saying on 1st down, we're pretty sure you're going to run the ball here, and we're going to just make sure every gap is taken away. I'm not sure about this.
It's a little strange, isn't it?
Rotation at quarterback.
Well, that time you brought in Cody on a 2nd and 2, and then decided to hand it off. Leads them to a 3rd and 2, and Brett Lothrell to attempt a 46-yard field goal attempt, 84.4% on the year, and he is able to knock that one right down the middle, and we are deadlocked at 3, closing in on the final few minutes of the 1st quarter here at Mosaic. Kadeem Carey putting together an outstanding season. He's off to a nice start tonight. In the Canadian Football League with the Calgary Stampeders, and he's been good, but he's never been this good. He looks great this year.
Yeah, an outstanding season for Kadeem Carey. In fact, you know, I would make him the nominee out of Calgary for outstanding player for sure, and you know, he'll probably take over the lead tonight if he stays healthy throughout this game. Rushing lead in the Canadian Football League, and you know, it's pretty simple. The playoff teams have a good running game.
Mayer with Carey standing into his left, takes that handoff. Now he's going to throw it to his running back. Gets wide, stays on his feet for a 1st down, eventually forced out of bounds just past midfield. But once again, another way to get this weapon involved.
Yeah, and I just noticed that AC Leonard is back in the game as well. That's good news for Saskatchewan, although it looked like he was trying to chase him down. See, Carey on the fake and then goes out to the flat, catches this. And I think it's AC Leonard right there. No, it isn't either. He was the 2nd guy to get him out of bounds.
It was Mike Edwards with the first crack at him. Diedrich Mills into the game. They'll give it to him. Mills, good push ahead. Eventually a heavy collision at the 45. And he is stopped after a pickup of about 7 yards.
Boy, there's some nice block down action from Julian Good-Jones, who is the right tackle on that run off the edge. And it doesn't matter which tailback's getting it. You just get block downs like this. Just watch as the ball is handed to Mills here. They're just collapsing that side of the formation and creating that bubble.
Mills remains in to the right of Jake Mayer. They'll give it to him, pushing ahead. Needed about the 41. He'll be very close. If he's not there, it'll be 3rd and short.
Darnell Sankey played the play. Darnell Sankey, I'm not sure what his responsibility on this particular defense was. Only everyone in the huddle would know that, except for the fact that he, on the snap of the ball, jumped in the gap and said, they're running the ball on 1st down every single time. I'm going to go play the play. And he makes that tackle, forcing a 3rd down here.
Tommy Stevens in to mop things up, keep this drive alive. Pushing ahead, and a great 2nd effort will get him there. That's a big man to slow down, 6'5", almost 250 pounds.
I really like early on the play calling by Dave Dickinson to, you know, with the start for Jake Mayer in the Hamilton game, he's a real completely different sort of attack here. To go with the run game on first down, create the balance, real high percentage throws, bubble screens, stuff in the flat, get some confidence building for Jake Mayer, and then go down the field with it.
4 receivers to the wide side left for Mayer. Dumps it off to Kadeem Carey. And Carey will take it down to the Rider 35.
Love the technique here from Jake Mayer on the fake. He's going to take the ball from center on the shotgun and sort of turn like it's a quick bubble screen to the outside and then give it an underneath handoff to Kadeem Carey there. Just because you're running the ball every time on first down doesn't mean you can't be creative with it.
Second and 5, empty backfield for the Stamps. Mayer gets it away. It'll fall incomplete. Was looking for Reggie Begelton, but he missed him. And that will bring up 3rd down and a field goal try for Paredes.
Yeah, AC Leonard off the edge here, Dustin's going to get some pressure. And it just forces Jake Mayer to step up a little bit and throw when he wasn't ready. He's coming off the edge here, and he gets around the corner on Hugh Thornton. That's why I wanted to watch Hugh Thornton, see how he was going to play if he could get out there. He can't get to him in time, and I think that just distracted Jake Mayer enough. The accuracy wasn't there on the throw.
Paredes 1 for 1 tonight, was 4 for 4 last week. This one from 42 yards, just inside the right hash, and he's able to turn that one in. And Calgary goes on top 6-3. We'll have a little bit more on that man, Mason Fine, when we return to Mosaic in Regina. Regina watching Mason Fine's first professional football start all the way down in Locust Grove, Oklahoma. He's got family members watching. For more on that, let's send it down to our Britt Dorton.
Yeah, I can imagine that word traveled fast in the small town that Mason Fine is from, that he's getting his first pro start. And you know, my favorite question to ask any player when they get that news is, who's the first person that you call? He told me, well, I actually let it soak in for a little bit, and then I called my dad. He's always the first person I talk to when it comes to football, and I'd be lying if I told you he wasn't a little shocked. He then put the phone on speaker, so of course he can also tell his mom. And yes, they're hosting a little bit of a watch party, friends and family, back in Oklahoma tonight. So we want to give a shout out to our Oklahoma viewers, guys.
Yeah, enjoy the game. See how this thing plays out. Obviously a big day for the Fine family.
Yeah, football is big time down in Oklahoma, and I bet there's Mason Fine signs out on the lawn. Love it.
Starts here on his own 40, of course. Turns around, hands it off, stumbling ahead. Decent push after the stumble from Morrow. And that'll bring up second and rather manageable here for Mason Fine.
So far in this first quarter, he's 2 of 3, 24 yards, but the 2 completions look good. Stood in the pocket nicely, eyes downfield. Not completely crazy about the strategy to platoon them.
Yeah, we've seen a little bit more of Cody Fajardo than we kind of expected. Here's Fine, final play of the quarter. Over the middle, he's got a man wide open, Schaefer Baker. He'll take it inside the 40. And some positive momentum for the home side. At the end of the first quarter, they trail 6-3, but Mason Fine has them marching as he tosses a dart into the hands of Schaefer Baker, who's having a sensational season himself. Over for Cody Fajardo to start this football game tonight. What have you thought so far?
Well, a handful of throws so far, but you know, one of the issues with Cody Fajardo is it looked like over the last month and a half that he has lost confidence in his protection, that he was looking at the rush and not down the field. And this is only the first, you know, handful of throws for Mason Fine, but it looks like Fine is, you know, comfortable in the pocket. He is trusting the protection, and his eyes are down the field. So that's one of the reasons I'm sure that Craig Dickinson, well, he's actually said it throughout the week, that Craig Dickinson made the change, but he just felt that, you know, that change of pace may give this offense a spark.
Cody Fajardo watching on. He's completed 70% of his passes this season. This time they'll get it out to Kyron Moore, but nowhere to go. Takes a loss on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd and long. Kobe Williams, among others, there to contain the speedster Kyron Moore.
Well, this is a great defense. This is a top-ranked defense. Defense that, you know, you look at their giveaway takeaway, they're 1st in the league, they're 3rd in points allowed. But the top 3 are really close, like all around 22 points per game. So Brent Monson, you know, if I'm Brent Monson right now with a young quarterback, I'm telling my DBs, don't be afraid to jump that first look.
2nd and 15, 4-man rush. A completion to Evans, taken down on the play, nowhere to go. Fraser Sopik wrapped him up, and that will bring up 3rd down. And Lothar will be called into work again. A little bit of a limp for Shaq Evans as he heads off the field.
Yeah, I think with this Calgary, and it's a fairly veteran group back there in the back end, especially with Jonathan Moxey and Brandon Dozier, that, you know, Mason Fine wants to try and be quick with his reads, get the ball out of his hands quickly, because he knows that, you know, the rush has been there on Cody Fajardo. So let the DBs cut him loose and let him break on some of those first looks.
Lothar from 45, hit from 46 earlier, and he'll tie this game up at 6 in the early stages of the 2nd quarter. CFL regular season wraps up next week with a full slate of exciting matchups. The action begins with Friday Night Football showdown between the Lions and Bombers. Continues Saturday with 3 back-to-back matches. Don't miss a minute of action here on TSN. The old Saturday tripleheader to wrap up the regular season.
Yeah, we just went through Calgary to come out to Saskatchewan for this game tonight, and it's snowing.
It's snowing.
So
it's snowing in Calgary today.
Big time.
Quite a bit, actually.
Big time snowing, yeah.
When we were there. Jake Mayer, he's going to look down the field. A deep shot, drops it in there, Philpott. And he hangs on just inside the 25. Longest play of the season for Jalen Philpott.
Well, who's going to pick up, who's going to pick up the extra targets for Malik Henry? Who's going to be that big play guy? Why not Jalen Philpott? He gets inside position and runs down this post. Jeremy Clark on the outside on that corner has no safety help, and a 47-yard gain later has Calgary set up for points.
Season high 7 targets last week as they continue to work in their first-round pick. Philpott now at the top of your screen. Stevens into the game. Tommy Stevens rumbling down and stops just shy of the 10, but that's a big pickup and a first down for the Calgary Stampeders.
Let's go back to that Jalen Philpott big play down the field. He got another gear there when he came out of this breaks, and he's got inside position, so he doesn't have to stem. He's just going really just post seam, but then you see that little burst to track it down, get underneath it like a center fielder, and then make the big catch.
Little turbo button action.
Yeah,
there,
you got it.
1st and 10 for Calgary. Working from the rider 11. Jake Mayer looks to his left. Now dumps it off underneath. Heavy hit. Bagleton hammered by Sankey. Bounces back up and gives him a round of applause.
Former teammates.
You hit a former teammate like that? Darnell Sankey, you're a monster.
Oh yeah, I mean that's fun. You got to love that. Both guys, both Bagleton and Sankey. Sankey's just left to that post there. He's just dropping underneath, trying to read Jake Mayer, and Mayer dumps it down, and Sankey's coming downhill. That's a load too. He's 245. Shoulder right to the chest. Bagleton jumps right back up.
4 receivers wide side left for Jake Mayer. Looks to the right, now to the left. Now he's going to throw, and it's incomplete. Looked like it was behind the intended target, Richie Sindani. And that will bring up 3rd and 8. And a chip shot coming here for Paredes.
That's a big stop to get to hold Calgary without the major. That's the one thing that has been better for Calgary since Jake Maier has taken over is their red zone production. They've gone from 57% early in the year to 76% in the red zone inside the 20 since Jake Maier took over. Couldn't get it done on this drive. Big stop by Saskatchewan.
16-yarder for Paredes. Knocks it through into hill country. Calgary on top. 9-6. Well, we've been talking about this quarterback change all night. Let's hear why Craig Dickinson decided to pull the trigger on it.
It's strictly points. We're just not scoring enough points on offense, and we feel like we need to score more to win. And so it was done to give us our best chance of winning this year. It wasn't done for anything in the future. It's done for this game, these last 2 games. We just need to score more on offense to give us a chance.
22.3 points per game, 7th in the Canadian Football League offensively.
Right, but let's be clear. I mean, he feels that Mason Fine gives him a better opportunity than Cody Fajardo to do that.
Now they'll tuck it into the arms of Schaefer Baker. Read well by Calgary, defended well by Calgary, and maybe a yard on the play.
You know, and listen, Cody Fajardo hasn't played his best football, and he'll be the first to tell you that over the last, month and a half, this 5-game losing streak. But he's also thrown for over 11,000 yards, has a great win-loss record at 27-17. And, he's battle-tested in a lot of these big games and these must-win games. So, I understand the coach wanting to shake things up, but there's a risk involved.
Seemed like you could have gone to it earlier, not gone to it at all. They decided to go to it now, and Fane decides to go down the field, looking for a one-hander. It was Kyron Moore. No flags on the play. Mason Fine is on his back, and his offensive line's going to help him up.
Yeah, he gets a run at it and then takes it right down the field. This is what's great about the waggle. You can just get a running start. But Muhammad, step for step, doesn't allow Kyron Moore to get there.
Muhammad's having an interesting season. A couple of interceptions, 9 knockdowns as well. Vedvik set to kick it away to Sean Bain. Oh, big kick.
Wow.
Bain backpedals and he tracks it down. 58-yard boot. Now Bain picking his way back out. Pretty decent return considering how far he had to go back and grab that ball. Calgary leading by 3. Jake Maier will have the ball next. World Cup debut since 1986. TSN and CTV are your home for exclusive coverage all tournament long. Should be a good one. 4 receivers to the right for Maier. Looks to the left. Throws to the left, throws it low, looking for Sindeni, and it falls incomplete on first down.
I think Larry Dean was a bit of a distraction for Jake Maier there. Larry Dean was sitting on the inside on that drop, and when he was sitting there, he just looked like he was poised to break on that throw, and it just forced Jake Maier to just throw that one away. Had a throwing lane. He just had number 11 sitting there.
Calgary just 1 for 6 on second down here in the first half. Need a big chunk here, 2nd and 10. Maier down the field. Sindeni got turned around. Looks like he ran the wrong route. And that will fall incomplete down the field.
Yeah, that was just a bust. That was a mistake. Looked like either by Richie Sindeni or just where the ball was thrown, because Sindeni ran a completely different route. The way that Dave Dickinson is talking to him now, in fairness to Sindeni, he's played a lot of different positions. He played for Malik Henry, he played for Kamar Jordan, 2 different spots, and tonight he plays for Luther Akunavadam.
Moving them all over.
Yeah,
all around,
so he's probably, his head spinning, probably trying to figure out what route is for what spot.
Cody Grace kicks this away. Mario Alford takes it. on the far side of the field. Alford on the return. Multiple flags around the 45 on this return. And Mario Alford has his abilities limited there by Calgary.
You know, and one thing I noticed from Mason Fine were those eyes down the field, trusting his protection. And that's saying something, because he's watched Cody Fajardo get pounded this year. I mean,
just a little bit.
Human pinata type stuff with the amount of hits that Fajardo has taken in 15 games, 61 sacks, 20 more than the next closest in McLeod Bethel Thompson. You know, and that'll get you gun shy. That'll get you starting to look at the rush a little bit, or bailing early, which I think was, you know, one of the issues and one of the reasons for the change.
An illegal block backs up the Riders. They'll start on their own 33. Hand it off to Morrow, trying to push ahead. Ball pops out, but he was already down, and he recovered it anyway. 5-yard pickup for Jamal Morrow.
So a lot of options here for Jason Moss on a 2nd and 5 or 6. You know, you can look at bubble screens, those high percentage throws, and hope that your receiver makes a play, or even go back to the run game.
Fine is 5 of 7 for 52 yards. 5 different receivers have caught a pass. 2nd and 5 here on his own 38. Gets it away quickly. Morrow was turned around, got one hand on it, but couldn't haul it in, and that'll bring up 3rd and 5, and Vedvik will come out to kick it away. 2nd straight 2 and out here for the home side.
Yeah, Jamal Morrow turned around, and he saw a truck coming with the license plate 56. Watch him turn around here. Morrow looks up and he goes, ooh, yeah, okay. Oh, hi there. All right.
I don't have it. Leave me alone. I don't have it.
See ball, hit ball.
And Calgary here jumped. And that's big.
Well, that's a first down.
Yeah, for the Riders, that'll be a first down.
Offside against Calgary. This 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
This has been a bit of a must be a concerning trend for the Calgary Stampeders and for Dave Dickinson over the last few games. 2 of the last 4, they've been over 100 yards in penalties. That is really uncharacteristic.
Well, they're very disciplined for most of the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is a little.
Every season under Coach Dickinson.
So another crack at it on this drive for the Riders. Fine, takes the handoff, now rolls out, and he's just going to take off with it. Cuts it back up, plunging towards the 50. And we know he is certainly capable of doing this.
Yeah, he's got good speed, and he's a great athlete. He can escape, and look at this. This is a record. How about that speed?
Nobody was catching him there. 80 yards all the way to the house. Nice little move to open himself up. And he was gone. For North Texas. Now Schaefer Baker will slide in behind his quarterback. They'll give it to Schaefer Baker. Big 89 is going to push it ahead, but he won't have enough for the first down. That'll bring up 3rd down.
But he is close. It's a 3rd and...
It's like 2 yards.
Well, now it's 2. They did move it back, didn't they?
That's a long 2 right there. Probably kicked this away, yeah. Vedvik.
Oh, I don't think
here.
I don't think there's any question he gets to 2 yards, yeah.
So Cody Fajardo early in the game, but they've gone away from Fajardo coming in on the last couple of possessions. Haven't sustained much of a drive either. 3rd and 2, Vedvik will come out to kick it away. Sean Bain stands back on his own 11-yard line. Just over 5 minutes remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Battle of the kickers so far. Vedvik takes it cleanly and lets it fly. End over end, bounces at the 24. Bain takes it on the one hopper, 40-yard kick right back up to the 25. And that is where he will be wrapped up by the Riders. Jake Mayer trying to get this offense going when we return. 11 for 88 yards. Offense hasn't looked great in the first half here. Last week in the first half, 3 interceptions, so a little bit of a different story, but I'm sure they like to get this thing clicking a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, the one big play to Jalen Philpott, but other than that, no traction.
They'll hand it off. This usually works for that Calgary offense. And it's Kadeem Carey's having himself a pretty decent night when he touches the ball. That's now 34 yards on 4 carries for Kadeem.
Yeah, like Dave Dickinson's play calling approach in the first quarter was this. It was run on first down, and they were getting big chunks, 7, 8 yards, and then high percentage on second.
They'll run it again, breaking a few tackles, eventually taken down by Larry Dean. But Kadeem Carey starting to churn out some yards on the ground, and now he'll check out. Dedrick Mills will come into the game.
You know, and when I say high percentage, I mean those bubble screens, and quick flat throws and things like that. And then he goes to Jalen Philpott, and then a couple of quick 2-and-outs since then. So it looks like Dickinson going back to that strategy to just get that run game going on first down.
Now they'll get it to Mills. Mills turning it up. It's about half of what they need on another first down. That'll set up 2nd and 5 for the visitors.
I love when they start to pull guards. Julian Good-Jones is going to get a chance to get out and lead this around the edge. Now, he doesn't really get a big block, but I love seeing those big boys pull out from their spot.
They get a little excited to get pulled and take off.
And they get to get on their horse and get around the corner and try to pick somebody up.
Just 2 for 8 on 2nd downs tonight for Mayer in this offense. 3 receivers out to his right. They'll run it again with Mills, busts through and lunging ahead. Should be enough for another Calgary first down as they are strictly attacking on the ground here against the Riders.
This time it's the guard, Zach Williams, that gets a chance to pull and lead through the hole. He's that left guard from Jake Mayer's perspective. He pulls around and he gets AC Leonard and a nice block there just to get his tail back close to that first down marker. Well, he did get it.
Mayer, 4 receivers to his left, looks to his right, now throws down the field for Bain, broken up late neatly by Roland Milligan. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10 as we creep inside 3 minutes. Calgary putting together a drive. Roland Milligan decides to interrupt things. Great defensive play on that ball against Sean Bain.
All right, it is the tail end of our doubleheader. Davis Sanchez went and did a little coffee break in between games. We are well caffeinated, aren't we, boys?
What's the song? Let's hit it. Come on, here we go.
Oh, Emil wants us to sing, so I'll go back to Regina. How about that? That's pretty good.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, we got a star on our hands there. Hey, great work. Lindsey Hamilton keeping that rowdy crew under control back in the studio.
Now, hang on. Did we pull our starting quarterback and go in with the 12,000-yard college star? Is that what we're doing?
A lot of people at the network are discussing the decision, but it looks like a pretty good one so far tonight with Lindsey on the panel.
Lindsey's doing a great job. Welcome on board. Welcome to the team.
Flags on this play. Dave does not look happy.
Yeah, he does not tolerate penalties. I mean,
I can't tell if he's angry or happy right now.
Well, no, he's not happy. He's
a little smile in there.
Calgary. It's 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get,
not happy. Yeah.
Well, he's trying to get a number on who got the penalty. That's what he wants to know. And I don't
think
to
be provided with that info.
Number 57.
There you go. There you go.
Second and 15 for Mayer. Over the middle, downfield. And a nice job there. That zipped in, and Beggleton goes down to get it. And Calgary is in business.
And catches himself a walleye. No, that's Jake Maier's best throw of the night, because he has to throw it inside and basically throw Reggie Beggleton open. You've heard that expression before. Steps up nicely in the pocket, climbs up into it, and throws it right into the middle, so Beggleton has to go down to get it. And then he got up and cast it out there for a little pickerel.
All over him there. Great throw. Now Kadeem Carey moving ahead. He's back in the league lead, by the way. Taking back, if James Butler's watching tonight, back to second place. Kadeem Carey, head off.
Got a little banged up there,
heavy his workload tonight anyway, but did look a little banged up there, didn't he?
We'll walk that one off. But another big chunk. It's a 9-yard run.
Tommy Stevens looking to pick up the first down, diving ahead, and we'll have that. Needed to get to about the 32, and he's beyond that for the Stampeders. Now, the one thing the Riders defense has done is they've not allowed Calgary into that end zone just yet. They've stopped them three times, held them to field goals. Keeping their young quarterback within striking distance here has to be important.
Yeah, you know, they limited the damage after the Jalen Philpott play to just a field goal, and they're trying to do it now with the stop in field goal range. But what this has done, this drive for Calgary, has started to take the crowd a little bit out of it. They're trying to get back up and trying to distract the offense.
Ninth play of this drive, some pressure right up the middle, and Maier had to get rid of that ball, and it does fall incomplete.
That's pretty good coverage by Larry Dean. Larry Dean picks up Dedrick Mills coming out of the backfield, and he basically put a blanket on him. And so it was almost like Jake Maier was saying, okay, I've got to try and throw a tailback who doesn't have a lot of experience back there, not like Kadeem Carey or a Reggie Beggleton, and I got to try and throw him open. See how he blankets him? Doesn't really give him a spot to throw to.
2nd and 10. Riders D looking to take a stand here against Calgary. Maier dumps it off to his running back again. This is Mills, far side, stays on his feet, diving ahead, looking for the first down. And according to that spot, he's got it. What an effort.
Well, that's a great play by Mills, because he felt like he was losing his balance and was going to fall short of first down territory, so he falls forward to make sure that he gets it. That's understanding exactly where you are on the field, know you're stumbling, see the marker, and get there.
How about that footwork, eh?
Little two-step. It's Calgary, after all. Country music.
Mills stays in to the left of Maier. Now he'll flare out to the left. They'll hand it off to Philpott, I believe, and he stopped short as they try to get 85 involved in a couple of different ways tonight.
Well, Jason Shivers finally got what he needed on defense on first down, which was a good run stop. He got it from Charbel DeBeer, the interior of his defensive line, because that's what they'll talk about at halftime. They're going to go in and say, guys, on first down, 7, 8, 9 yards, too much. Let's put Jake Maier in 2nd and long.
4-minute drive for the Stampeders, trying to keep it alive right here. Maier dumps it off again to nobody, and that will fall incomplete. Was over the head of Mills. Not sure he knew that was coming. And that once again will bring up 3rd down and call Paredes into work for the 4th time today.
Yeah, the chemistry just isn't quite there the same with Dedrick Mills, who hasn't played nearly as much as a Peyton Logan or a Kadeem Carey. Just not exactly where Jake Maier thought he should be, and the ball falls incomplete.
Paredes, I mentioned earlier, was 4 for 4 last week. He's on the verge of going 4 for 4 in the first half tonight. And that is exactly what he will do as the lead climbs to 6. As these teams exchange field goals in the first half on a Saturday night at Mosaic.
Okay, well, we've seen a couple of early good throws from Mason Fine. But, Craig Dickinson wanted to see more offensive points. And we're closing in on the first half of this game, and the Riders have 6 on the board.
I was distracted by that Bombers fan down in Pill Country. You see that? The one guy, there's always that guy, right? Full-blown blue Bombers blue, head to toe. Out to ruin the party here tonight for Stampeders and Riders fans. Less than a minute to work. Pressure here on Fine, and he's able to get rid of it. Not sacked once against Calgary defense that has led the league with 45 sacks this season.
Jameer Thurman is getting home, and this time it's Evan Johnson that gets in trouble. There's Thurman there, and Evan Johnson, the guard, has got to figure out if he's going to take Mike Rose or Thurman, who sprints through there and gets to Mason Fine. He hit him in the second play of this game pretty good.
His running back tried to get there and save him, but was just a little too late. 2nd and 10 for Fine. 3-man pressure this time, and he's in trouble, gets away. Now he's going to look down the field, has a completion, first down, and there's a flag back by the quarterback as he got it to Picton, who then turned it upfield and had enough for the first down.
Well, that was a good hard rush by Derek Wiggin on the inside.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Calgary number 4. 15 yards added to the end of the play, an automatic first down.
Cam Judge is going to get the penalty, so I circled both of them. Judge kind of puts the brakes on, and now he's spying Mason Fine. If he runs, he tries to make the tackle, and that's just a hit well after he threw it. Draws the flag, and the correct call.
Not debatable there. That's pretty clear cut.
I think Cam Judge would tell you that. He's talking to himself after that play.
A penalty will take the Riders up into Brett Loeffler territory. His long on the season, 57. Fine with an empty backfield. Flags on the play. Whistle went just before he snapped that ball.
Procedure. Saskatchewan number 66. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Right tackle Cooper Richardson caught on this one. Richardson playing in his 5th game with the Riders out of Sacramento State. Backs him up. 1st and 15 from the Calgary 49. 46 seconds on the clock for Mason Fine in his first career start. Near side, high ball will fall incomplete. Moore went up to try to get it. Muhammad was right there in his back, and it'll be 2nd and 15.
Yeah, Fine kind of pointed himself after this throw. Calgary's sending some pressure now, more so than I've seen from the Calgary defense, and that ball just a little bit high on Kyron Moore, who's only 5'10", 165. Watch Fine, he goes, yeah, that's my bad.
Second and 15 for Fine. Morrow out to his right, that's where he's going to go. Morrow looking to the far sideline, lunging ahead, gets it back inside the 45, but it'll be 3rd and long for the Riders.
Was that run enough to get the field goal team out there?
Yes, it was. Loeffler will come out.
Because that's, that throw was the plan. I mean, not necessarily even first down. If Morrow makes a couple miss, you get the first down, but get back into field goal range is goal number 1, and going to give it a shot.
Officially a 53-yard attempt for Loeffler. I mentioned earlier he's hit from 57 this season. This one on the right hash to make it a 3-point game. Vedvik with the hold. That kick is up, and it is wide left. Philpott will bring it out. Philpott to the 10. And we forced out just inside the 20-yard line. And Paredes perfect on one side, 4 for 4 tonight. Loeffler with the miss now, 2 for 3.
There's a little bit of a breeze in the face of Brett Loeffler. Hold looks great. Just pulled it a little bit to the left. Trying to get that body English, just like that first drive on the first tee box. It's going right into the lake. You're trying to bend your body to get it back.
We haven't even golfed together yet, and you know how it goes for me. Father's now 4 of 6 from beyond 50 yards this season, and they leave 3 points out there to the Riders and will be trailing by 6.
So you know, Dave Dickinson saying, hey, we take a 6-point lead on the road, hostile territory, in at halftime.
Not loving it, but you're happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Riders' search for more offense continues. They trail 12-6. Let's send it back to the studio with Lindsay in the panel.
Thank you, gentlemen. What'd you say earlier? I'm trying to keep this rowdy crew under control. So far, so good. But boys, let's dive right into Mason Fine, because we know that the word Craig Dickinson used was spark. You hear it in rom-coms, you hear it when it comes to your starting quarterback. And Craig Dickinson also said it's all about the offense and about points. So Milt, when you assess Mason Fine's first half of the game so far as a starting quarterback, what would you take away?
Yeah. I mean, nothing good, but nothing bad. You know, he hadn't turned the ball over, hadn't made any big plays, and I think that was expected based on, you know, him just being inexperienced. But, I mean, getting back to the decision once again, the fact that they're not starting Cody Fajardo, the fact that they are implementing Cody Fajardo every now and then on a run or handoff, I'm still confused about what this team is trying to do, knowing that they need to win this game to keep their playoff hopes alive. I'm still confused about what I've seen.
Yeah, and Milt, you know, it's not surprising that Calgary's kind of kept in check. You know, this defense, they give up the fewest big plays down the field, and so you're going to have to be patient. And and Cody Fajardo felt what this young man felt right there, as pressure right away, and that's, you know, that's a rib fest right there. And again, here on 2nd and 5, he throws quickly because somebody's in his kitchen sink right there. That's Romele coming off the edge, taking another shot. So he's getting a full dose of what Cody Fajardo's gotten all season, and so far this is a tightly played football game. You know, not a lot of throws down the field. We did see, and this is the biggest knock, and I've talked about Cody's lack of ability to push the ball down the field consistently, and when he does, it always seems like a jump ball. I did see Mason Fine go down the field, and one time to slot receiver, and the ball was thrown out there, and the receiver couldn't go get it. So I think it's a plus for this offense, but they just now have to have the receivers that can go get it. Yeah, because Mason Fine can certainly push it down the football field.
You know, you asked, you know, you're not sure what they're doing and what the decision is or what this team's doing.
Right.
Cody's playing, but he's not the starter.
Hadn't thrown the ball yet.
So here's what I asked, and I say, okay, so in Calgary, for example, they moved on. They went to Jake Mayer.
Right.
We know that they went to Jake because that's what they're going to move on to next year.
Right.
We're pretty sure.
Right.
Montreal.
That was definitive.
Right.
Yeah.
Montreal, similar thing with Trevor once they traded Vernon.
Right.
So, but Dave, Craig said here that this is only for right now. This is not for the future. So if that's the case, then put Cody in the game now. Then you need to win this game.
You need to win this game.
I don't care if Mason Fine plays 2 series and then Cody plays 2 and Mason plays 3. Whatever you need to do to win this game, you do it. It's not about hurting feelings. It's not about anything else. Mason hasn't been able to move this offense.
No, he hasn't.
So give Cody a chance. If Cody can't move the offense, then pull his ass out, his butt out, and put Mason back in. That's the reality of it.
I feel you. But the thing is, are they really trying to win this game? That's what I'm confused. Are they really trying to win this game? And I know that's crazy to say that because we're in the business, but it seems like they're not trying to win this game. That's the feeling I get from what they're doing.
You got to pull out everything you can right now to win this game.
Right now. And I understand why you use that word. Because you're frustrated. I'm frustrated, too.
Yeah,
it's sad to see what they're doing.
I think all 3 of us, in our experience, we're trying to figure out what their mindset is moving forward. And for this immediately, right now, in this football game. And I guarantee it, Mill, they're trying to win this football game.
That's not what they're doing.
I usually use that word with Jack in the front to describe you.
Yes.
All right, well, apparently they need a little more fire, but yes, we know what the scenario is for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It is do or die, a must-win. But before we look ahead to the second half of our tail end of our doubleheader, we're going to go back. We're looking to the first game today between the Argos and Als, and what was an absolutely dramatic finish you do not want to miss. It's coming up.
And the ground attack of the Stampeders in fine form here in the early going. Pressure coming from Calgary, gets it away just in time, gets the field, and he drops it in there for Mitch Picton. Got a man wide open, Shaver Baker. He'll take it inside the 40, down the field, a deep shot, drops it in there, Phil Box. And he hangs on, heavy hit, Bagleton, hammered by Sankey.
12-6 Stamps at the half. Matt, you've got the stats.
Yeah. Calgary's defense is flexing right now, shutting down the run and holding the young quarterback, making his first start in check.
All right, well, Jameer Thorman also flexing. Here he is with Britt Dort.
Well, when you look at that first half, just field goals on the scoreboard, what's going to be key to finding some more points on the other half?
We got to get turnovers on defense. We're in position. We got to stop giving up field goals first, but we also got to create some turnovers, give our offense some momentum.
What are you noticing most from Saskatchewan's offense?
They're trying to run the ball. They're trying to establish the run. I think we did a pretty good job on that, but we can be a lot better.
All right, well, thanks. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Pretty good indeed, but it is never enough. Calgary up 12-6 at the half. The Roughriders trying to hang on for their postseason lives.
Britt Dort.
Darnell, you were able to hold off Calgary to just field goals in that first half. What's going to be key to stopping them altogether in the second?
Oh, just doing what we got to do, executing our play call. They're a great team. We know what they got to do ahead of time, and just continue to do what we're doing.
What was the biggest message in the locker room in order to walk away with the win tonight? We know what's on the line.
We need it. That's it.
Yeah, they do.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He is not wrong.
Darnell Sankey, 6 tackles in the first half of the football game. So he's basically doing what he's done all season. Mason Fine trying to do what this team hasn't been able to do in quite some time, and that is to win at home. Now, this is not Edmonton Elks territory by any stretch of the imagination, but 5 consecutive losses at home. It's the longest in about 20 years. As far as losing streaks go here, and that's on his shoulders here in the second half.
Well, I'm inspired by Darnell Sankey and the way he answered the question. Cut to the chase. So I have a question. Has the Saskatchewan Roughrider offense looked better with Mason Fine at quarterback than with Cody Fajardo at quarterback in that first half?
Well, it didn't look great.
No.
And it hasn't looked great.
The answer is no.
Before either, right? So the answers might not be with the quarterback, maybe. Who knows? On the return, ball pops loose, Riders are on it. That's what they needed to start the third quarter. Philpott on the return, lost the ball, and Saskatchewan's in business.
Yeah, I love that this game is a 3-phase game, that the Canadian Football League special teams are equally as important, the big returns we've seen all season long, but it can also turn on a dime when you get a turnover on the return game. It flops the field. Now, no offensive series, even a 2-and-out and a punt changes field position drastically. A turnover flops the field, and Saskatchewan early momentum in this second half.
Larry Dean, I believe, it looked like it was 11 to knock to lose. We know it was Jones that wrapped it up. Backup receiver. He's got 3 touchdowns actually on the year. So Tevin Jones comes up big, and you couldn't ask for a better start to the half for the Riders. Here's Fine, pressured, gets away from it, dumps it off to his running back. Jamal Morrow turns it upfield, and they get about half of what they need on first down. Second and manageable coming up.
So there's what the guys were talking about at halftime, that Mason Fine is realizing what Cody Fajardo has felt all season, which is that pressure in his face. But I'll show you a little bit of the difference. Fajardo, throughout the last month and a half, had spun out of those type of situations and tried to beat the rush with his legs. That time, Mason Fine kept his eyes downfield and dumped it off to his relief tailback.
Now he's in a 2nd and 5 position. Stamps are going to bring some heat. Fine sees it to the end zone, and it's touchdown! Riders strike early in quarter number 3. Shaq Evans, 23 yards for his 2nd touchdown of the season.
Okay, they've made some adjustments, and Mason Fine recognizes the blitz, recognizes no safety. Dozier's coming downhill here. Spot. Middle, full blitz coming at you. The middle's got to be open. As he retreats, he dumps it right down the middle to Shaq Evans. Runs under it, touchdown. So there you go. Now the question that I asked off the top of that after the first half gets a little murkier, because that was great recognition, release of the football versus the blitz.
Oh, and after getting that turnover, to not have to settle for a field goal and to punch it in early in the half, to take the lead 13-12 after that extra point, that's huge for the young quarterback. Mason Fine's got a touchdown pass here in his first CFL start.
Let's show you on that touchdown throw what Mason Fine was looking at. That's Brandon Dozier, the safety. So Fine knows that he's got that blocked up by his tailback in Jamal Morrow. Watch this. Stop it here, guys. There's Morrow, steps up on the safety. So where does he have to go with the football? Right to the middle where the safety was, and hope that Shaq Evans can track it down. Throw him open, get him down the middle. Touchdown, Saskatchewan.
And you pointed it out, but great job at Morrow, because he got blown up stepping in front of Dozier, but he gave his quarterback enough time to make a play, and momentum here early in the third quarter for the Riders, needing a win to keep their season alive. Philpott looking for a little bit of redemption, and a very nice return. Great field position for the Calgary Stampeders and Jake Mayer to start the third quarter.
Yeah, Jake Mayer has to understand the urgency of this situation now. You know, early momentum in this second half. You get the sudden change. Saskatchewan gets the turnover, and after sudden change, you want to score. Put that major in the end zone. It's exactly what Mason Fine did, and now Jake Mayer's got to have an answer, or the momentum starts to build for Saskatchewan.
Mayer, 8 of 16, just 50% of his passes completed for 120 yards in the first half. Team had to settle for 4 field goals. They'll look to change that here. Back to the ground attack. Nowhere to go this time as the Riders stuff Dedrick Mills.
Yeah, Miles Brown just, they basically slide, and they let Dedrick Mills try to find his hole. They're basically just going to slide this direction, and then he's going to come down and just find the hole. But guess who plugs the hole? Miles Brown slides with him, and he just meets him 2 yards back in the backfield.
Third tackle for a loss this season for big number 90 on the Riders. 4 options out to the right for Mayer. Flush to the right, throws to the right, has a completion. It's Bain, makes a man miss, has a first down, stepped out of bounds, and that's where the speed of Sean Bain comes into play. Boy, he was flying across the field.
You know, AC Leonard tries an inside move, and when he does, he gets out. Jake Mayer gets outside of him. This is going to be an up and then inside move. Now, when you have a premier pass rusher like AC Leonard can be, you let him do that, but you lose contain when you take that inside lane. Jake Mayer gets outside, finds Bain, and it's a first down.
19-yard pickup for Bain. Second catch of the game for him. Mayer now has his running back out in the flat, dumps it off to him. It's Mills trying to get back up to the line of scrimmage a little bit further before he's eventually forced out of bounds by Derek Moncrief. Nice start to this third quarter.
Yeah, you can see the urgency in Calgary after the turnover and, you know, losing the lead just like that. But work still to be done, because the Saskatchewan defense in the first half bent a little bit but didn't break, gave up field goals.
They'll be looking for another stop here. Jake Mayer needs 7. Second down, just inside the Rider 50. Backpedals, now out to his right, near side. Has Philpott, cuts it back in, gets a block, down inside the 30, and that's where they'll stop him. Another big pickup for Philpott. 17 yards on this one after a 47-yard in the first half.
So, you know, again, the Riders are gambling here. This time it's Miles Brown with inside pass rush lanes without a secondary contain man. And what's happening now is Jake Mayers twice on big plays on second down got outside of that pressure and found his receiver.
First and 10 from the Rider 31. They'll give it to Mills. Neatly cuts it back, pushes ahead, and is very close to a first down. Looks like they'll
sometimes you can sometimes, Dustin, you can let a guy like Pete Robertson or AC Leonard take an inside rush lane, and just because they're so quick, they can sometimes redirect and make the play anyway. But if you start doing it with guys like Miles Brown or a bigger interior guy, you got to have a secondary contain man like a linebacker helping you there.
Tommy Stevens into the game on 2nd and 1, lunging ahead, gets to the 20, more than enough, and that'll be a fresh set of downs for Jake Mayer and the Stampeders offense.
But full credit to Mayer for recognizing what I showed you in back-to-back plays and leaking himself out of the pocket with his eyes downfield, finding open receivers outside for first downs. Both those were second down throws.
Third trip to the red zone. 0 for 2 so far, coming in red hot down there, though. 76% in the red zone in the last 7 games.
They've been good.
They could use an answer right here. First and 10 from the Saskatchewan 20. Pressure coming on Mayer. Dumps it off. Passes running back Mills. Turning it upfield. Stops short of the 10. But once again, a nice pickup into the hands of Dedrick Mills.
This is what I meant about secondary contain. So Jason Shivers defensively says, okay, we're not going to let him go outside this time. I'm bringing Larry Dean. I'm going to bring in Robertson inside rush again, but Larry Dean, the linebacker, is going to help me so that Mayer can't bounce outside again. Now he can't get out there, so he has to throw it to his back and can't get down to a deeper receiver.
8 yards for Mills on that catch. 2nd and 2 for Mayer. Back to Mills, right up the middle, powering through, reaching towards the end zone, and stopped just short. What a run from Dedrick Mills.
Wow, they just started to do some road grading over there on the right side, and then Dedrick Mills, paved his way. I mean, this is those down blocks I was talking about with Julian Good-Jones. He's had a few in this game tonight. Right tackle out of Iowa State playing some good football up front.
Kadeem Carey checks back into the game. Mayer, he'll give it to 35, pushing ahead towards the end zone. Is he in? Yes, touchdown, Stampeders. 10th rushing touchdown of the season for Kadeem Carey as he hits double digits and Calgary goes back on top.
Quite a late signal from the officials.
And it came down the line.
It was way down the line, and that signal is important because every score or potential score is reviewed by the command center, but the call on the field in order to be overturned, and you see the ball is clearly in before
no doubter
contact. Yeah,
no doubter. So great work by Dedrick Mills to get them down there. Kadeem Carey comes in and finishes it off.
1 for 2.
Mayer looking for a couple more here. To the end zone. Was looking for Bain, working against Milligan. No flags on the play. And they'll come up short on the extra 2 points. But they do have the lead back. And it's a 5-point cushion, 18-13. And who else finishes the job of that man? Kadeem Carey.
Football is a game of real estate and momentum, and after the turnover and quick touchdown by the Riders to start the second half, Calgary needed to stop that momentum, and man, did they ever, with a 9-play, 69-yard drive that took 5 minutes and 41 seconds off the clock, finished with a touchdown, didn't get the 2-point convert, but they take the lead back.
Steady diet from Mills, finished off by Carey. A little sprinkling of Bain and Philpott in there as well. And we get a couple of touchdowns to start the second half. Now the return from Morrow all the way up, forced out at the 30.
Oh yeah, that's how we tote the ball, baby. We got 3-5 out here doing it, baby. That's them Platinum Boys for life. That's 10, by the way.
That's 10, by the way. 10 touchdowns on the year for Kadeem Carey. And these guys have combined for over 100 yards tonight.
Not that he's counting. Yeah, just great season for Kadeem Carey that continues here tonight.
Fly down. All right, a chance to respond for Mason Fine, trailing 18-13 here at home, needing a win to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. They'll start with a handoff to Jamal Morrow that goes absolutely nowhere. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. That's about it.
Well, Dustin, I'm interested to see now if Brent Monson decides to dial up another blitz. After Mason Fine recognized it, beat it, often defensive coordinators will go, okay, you got us on the blitz, because there's always going to be that opportunity. Ask Matt Dunnigan about sending blitz at him. He'll say, send it all day, because I'm going one-on-one down the field. Did he talk him out of it, or does he stick with it?
2nd and 9. Fine in trouble and is taken down. They get there, and it is T.J. Ram, 2nd sack of the season for Big 99.
Wow, T.J. Ram is doing his impersonation of a bowling ball in the Rider O-line. Rider O-line were the pins. I mean, he's just going up on Dan Clark. He gets double teamed. He rolls through a whole ton of yardage to get to Mason Fine.
First sack of the night for the Calgary Stampeders defense. 46th sack of the season. 40-yard kick taken by Bain at midfield. Back down inside the 50. And after putting together a touchdown drive, great field position after that return for the Stampeders because of this right here. T.J. Ram getting to Mason Fine. After the Riders defense, you want to stop them, but you love to make a play here.
Yeah.
Interception, big sack, take them out of field goal range.
You're talking
something to get the momentum back.
Nick Marshall time. Is that what you're saying?
Maybe. Quiet night. Mayer, near side, completion, lunging ahead. Second catch tonight for Trey Dukes.
And that was very similar to the first one. It was the first play of this game. It was a curl, short side of the field against the zone defense, and that's exactly what happens here. Right back to it, little play action.
First catch of the game went for 12. This one's good for 14 for Dukes. Give him 26. First and 10 for the Rider, 36. Now they'll get it to Kadeem Carey, busting ahead. He runs hard, 11 yards, and a first down for Kadeem Carey.
Just unbelievable vision. I think that may be his best superpower is Kadeem Carey. Watch how he's going to fold all the way back. That's play side is off the right tackle, and he goes all the way back to the backside hash mark. I mean, that's just great vision, realizing getting hot again out there.
There, gives it back to Carey again. Has some blockers in front of him. And he rumbles ahead. Could be enough for another first down.
But see, he realized the bubble that time. So the last play, it was off the right side, and he realized that there was a great push from the Rider defense there, so he folded all the way back to the backside hash mark. This time, he sees that his guys are winning. They're moving the line of scrimmage back, so he follows that block with great patience. I mean, he can make your O-line look really good in run blocking.
74 yards on 9 carries for Kadeem. Mills back in. He's got 50 yards on 8 touches. They're going to go back to him again, trying to kick it to the outside, down to the 5, lunging it, forced out of bounds, short of the end zone, about 2 yards short for Dedrick Mills.
Saskatchewan moves Pete Robertson inside, and he's a little undersized in there. Try and stop the run, and then they get Larry Dean on the edge, who lost contain. Pretty good speed by Mills.
Last time down, it was Mills who got them close, and then Kadeem Carey finished it. This time, Carey started to drive. Mills out there looking to take one home. Right up the middle, and he's in, almost untouched. Touchdown, Calgary. Running all over the Riders. And they go up by 11.
Yeah, just untouched. You know, it almost looked like the play was called on the line as to the direction, and they saw sort of a smaller left side of that formation. Smaller, I'm meaning personnel-wise, for the Saskatchewan defense. It was Roland Milligan that was over there almost in a linebacker spot.
Paredes out for one more. And a 12-point lead, and he knocks it home. Excellent night, and the first career CFL touchdown for Dedrick Mills in style as the Stampeders roll. Here's another look at the first touchdown in the career of Dedrick Mills, and pretty much untouched. Great work by that offensive line, and for more on that line, let's send it down to Britt Dork.
Yeah, we're seeing the works of this offense in this second half. We talked to quarterback Jake Mayer earlier in the week and asked him about their run game, about their offensive line, and he told me, well, not only do we have the best running back in the league, in his words, he also thinks they have the best offensive line in the league, and he says that is because of their IQ level, and he gives credit to Pat Delmonico, their coach. He says that has made it so much of a luxury when it comes to being a quarterback, because he tells me, hey, it's not an easy job, and I believe him, but he said tonight they need that best in the league effort in order to keep the Sask defense off balance, and we've seen them get off balance in this second half.
That makes a good point about being maybe the best offensive line in the league. They allow the fewest sacks, and they've got the best running game in the entire CFL. And those two guys help too, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Doing just that. You know, we get to Zoom players every week, and often the offensive line are kind of way down the list, but when we do talk to them, real intelligent guys.
They're great guys to talk to.
Absolutely are. Let's go back and let me show you where I'm talking about just the mismatch size-wise, because the A gap is Sankey's and the B gap is going to be Milligan's. So Milligan's got to take B, Sankey and A, but Milligan is a DB. And you're asking your DB to step up on the goal line, and there's Sankey, he took his, and just there's no way that Milligan could fight through that. And the blockers coming downfield, but that O-line got him started. Receivers lead blocking, and it's big on little.
Usually an advantage big for the big guys in this game. In that spot on the field. Here's Fine, fakes a handoff. Far side has Kyron Moore, broke one tackle. But right there immediately to help out, wrap him up, is Dozier. And this is not good. Kyron Moore reaching down to his toes, it looks like. Try to get another look at this. They're bring the staff out to take a look at him.
Dozier, oh, he landed on his heel. Rookie rolled on that ankle.
Got away from Washington. And then Dozier came in, almost had his feet tied up underneath him. Moore came in with this game just shy of 300 yards on the season. Of course, missed time earlier in the year with an injury. But certainly provides a little something different to this receiver group. You got the big guys, you got a veteran, and when Duke Williams is healthy, you know, a little bit of a deep threat there, but Moore's a guy you can move all over the place.
Yeah, but, you know, again, in the cutting to the chase, Darnell Sankey way, their big star receivers in Shaq Evans, Duke Williams have underachieved in a big way. And I know that Cody Fajardo has been the change for this game tonight, a game that they have to have, but Duke Williams and Shaq Evans are big ticket items, and they've underachieved this year.
2nd and 2 for Cody Fajardo into the game, and Fajardo's got some room to run, takes it outside the 45 to the 50, hit late, flag flies, and Cody Fajardo puts some life into this game for the Riders. Mason Fine's loving it.
He did just that. Took this off and around the corner, and that flag was for the late hit.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Calgary number 3. 15 yards added to the end of the play and an automatic first down.
Dozier right at the end here, just as Fajardo was about to step out.
Yeah, you know, and I'll say it's a little closer,
It's
but
close,
it's a little closer than I thought watching it live. But in fairness to Dozier, but it was out of bounds.
When you slow it down, you can see why Dozier made the play on it, right?
Yeah, and Dave Dickinson thought it was closer than we did.
Fine back into the game with that ball on the Calgary 45. They trail by a dozen. He's going to throw it over the middle. Schaefer Baker's got it for a first down just outside the Calgary 30. Second catch of the game for 89.
Yeah, and Mason Fine has shown a quick release on a couple of these throws. This is one of them. Quick play action to Morrow. Step, boom, right across the middle. Crossing route by their leading receiver in pretty much every category on the season. Yards, big plays, percentages, catches, targets, all of it. Keon Schaefer-Baker, number 1 on this team.
71% catch rate for Schaefer-Baker. They can also use them like this. They'll hand it off. Tripped up. What a tackle there by Javian Elliott. Got just enough of them. That's all he needed.
Yeah, he was going around that corner, and we've seen him tightrope walk the sideline many times this season. It's really quite remarkable how well he does it. But if he makes this one miss here, if he makes Elliott miss, he's got another 10, 15 at least. Tried the straight arm, didn't work, tripped him up.
You know, you see wide receivers and receivers in this league get the ball in carries, but most of them aren't 6'4", 200 pounds. They're a big guy. Fine. Gets that away just in time, was pressured and unable to come back to it there, Shaq Evans. And that'll bring up 3rd down for the Riders.
Late pressure coming from up on top here, and did Fine tried to throw around this pressure a little bit. He almost had to duck as he was letting it go, and he realized he was just off the mark.
Lothar out, 2 for 3 tonight. Made from 46 and 45. This one tucked just inside the 40. 39-yard attempt. Oh no, he's missed this one as well. That is wide right. And Philpott will take a knee. Lothar, understandably so, shaking his head at the end of the 3rd quarter. 5 points left on the board from Lothar. But both offenses finding their game a little bit in the 3rd quarter. Calgary's on top, 25-14 as we head to the 4th at Mosaic in Regina. Three quarters in the books in Regina. Stamps on top, 25-14, and really running all over this Riders defense.
Yeah, that's been the story. I mean, the combination of Dedrick Mills and Kadeem Carey with 156 yards rushing. The Saskatchewan defense coming in tonight 6th in the league against the run, but this was the same Calgary team that put 180 rushing yards on the #1 rush defense in the league in the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So that's been their strength this year, and with the young Jake Mayer, really helps him to have a great running game like that.
Yeah, I don't know how much help Jake Mayer needs, but he's got a lot of it. No doubt about that. They've got some receivers that were practicing this week and would hope to have back come playoff time, as we said right off the top of the broadcast. And those of you watching likely know, but if you don't, Calgary has a playoff date booked with the BC Lions out at BC Place in the West semifinal. Here's Kadeem Carey spinning away and then eventually just going down and taking cover as Robertson came in there. Sankey all over him again. Darnell Sankey having an excellent game. 9 tackles now for Sankey.
The Riders have to have this game to keep their playoff hopes alive. They lose, they're done. The crossover possibility will disappear. They have 14 minutes and 16 seconds to figure out a way to get it done.
Mayer. There's a flag at midfield as he does have a completion. Got it in there to Dukes, but there's a flag back in the secondary as we get rolling here in quarter number 4.
This looks like it's going to go against Saskatchewan because it was late.
Legal contact.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan number 15. This is a 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Mike Edom called for illegal contact. 100th career start for Edom tonight in CFL.
Yeah, he had come down low, Mike Edom. He's right there on Richie Sindani, and I think he just hangs on that grab a little bit long. He's going to leave the left of your screen there, but that's well past the 5 yards.
2nd and 1. Tommy Stevens lunging ahead. Talk about that offensive line and the job they've done in a number of different situations. They've worked very well with big number 15. That's a lot of meat moving along that line for a first down.
And just watching Nick Marshall talk to Mike Edom about that last play. I mean, that's a drive where the defense was off the field after that throw from Jake Mayer and that penalty, and then the 1-yard plunge there by Stevens, and they've got a new set of downs. So
press set from the 51 of Calgary. Mayer near side completion as he drops it in there nicely once again to Trey Dukes.
We talked about it in the break, but one of the things that the Calgary Stampeders are so good at, and I think they have been for years under Dave Dickinson, is how they manage the, as you mentioned it, and I think it's a great way to say it, they manage the swings in the game. They manage the ups and the downs, and they're even keel throughout. That turnover early in the first half, they gave up a touchdown, they gave up the lead, they drove it right down in the very next offensive series and took the lead back.
Now they'll hand it off. Phil Pott bounces off a couple of riders, still going. That's a hard-working, well-earned first down for Phil Pott.
Yes, sir!
University of Calgary getting her done. Nice big play, over 40-yarder down the field, and a 13-yard run for a first down the hard way.
Very interested to see where the Phil Pott boys are at 2-3 years from now, you know?
All-stars.
Gonna be fun.
1,000-yard guys.
Gonna be fun. Got them on both sides of the country. Mayer will hand it off right up the middle. Mills again. He lowers the boom. Still going. Takes it down inside the 20, just shy of the Rider 15.
Wow, just bringing in the extra O-lineman in Bryce Bell. There's Bryce Bell. Now he plays tight end. Down block, Bryce Bell takes his guy, and watch the hole that Mills gets to run through. I mean, give the ball to Dustin, and I think he can get about 10 right there.
Look,
off the left side.
I appreciate the faith that you have in me, but there's zero chance I even get to that hole, let alone run through it. But mind, there was enough space there for me to get through.
Yeah, you know, they're winning the line of scrimmage, and that's the bottom line. You win the line of scrimmage, you win a lot of football games.
Mike Edom is down on the field. They're going to take a look at him. We'll be back. Mike Edom remains down on the field. Here's a look at the collision. That's just helmet to helmet from Mills. How are you supposed to avoid that, Suits?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, both players trying to get their pad level down, and we're going to be real careful here with Mike Edom.
They are bringing the cart out. Right when we came back, it looked like he was moving his legs. You see his
it still
toes
is. So
moving
that was
right now. His feet are moving. But there's no reason to mess around.
No,
with this.
they're going to be very careful with it and make sure he goes to get fully checked out.
33-year-old, as I mentioned earlier, making his 100th career start in the Canadian Football League, and has been here with the Riders since 2017. This would be a situation where you kind of roll him over onto the board,
and they've told him not to move too much. And
positive sign, at least, that we're seeing lower parts of his body able to be moved. As you see the defense standing there looking on as they get set to put him onto the stretcher.
It's difficult to avoid those type of hits. You try to get as low as you can so that your first point of contact is the shoulder pad, and you try and take your head out of the equation. But it happens very quickly, and if that running back gets a little bit lower, now you're
serious damage there.
Well, now you're trying to, you're maybe trying to go for his thigh area, and then you could miss the tackle. So you've got to try to keep your head up, lead with the shoulder, take the head out just before contact. But very difficult, and Dietrich Mills is running hard. I mean,
he's running hard.
He's a load. He's 220 pounds.
With that helmet leading the way.
Yeah, downhill. So just hope that he's okay. Like as you mentioned, he was moving.
Looked like both legs
and
moved,
feet and hands and all of that. So this looks like it's, they're being extra careful.
Well, and they've reacted rather quickly here too. I mean, we went to one quick commercial break. When we came back, the cart was already coming out. They knew exactly what they were going to do and how they were going to handle this situation for the longtime veteran out of the University of Calgary. Been in the league since 2013, broke in with Montreal. Quick stop in Hamilton, BC, and then settling in here as a member of the community and a member of this Saskatchewan defense. And now all the players on both sides will come out and watch as Edom gets moved up on to the cart.
Yeah, I've thought through his last, 2 or 3 years, if not for some injuries that have caused him to miss some games throughout the season, I thought Mike Edom has played at an all-star level at safety. True leader of the group too, a guy who does a ton of studying and a ton of work in the classroom to make sure that he knows not only his own position, but if you get a chance to interview him and talk to him on radio or whatever it may be, he will talk about all the positions on defense and all the responsibilities and the checks that he's got to make from that safety spot.
Well, and you talk about the role of a leader in that secondary. You've got Nick Marshall out at corner. And then outside of that, it's been a bunch of different younger guys that have kind of moved in the last couple of years. Jeremy Clark's a second-year guy. Blaise Brown played 9 games last year. He's in the lineup tonight. Roland Milligan, who's had a phenomenal season playing alongside Mike Edem, but he's just a second-year rider as well. So it's a pretty young secondary, and he's a guy who's now, what, 10 years in to his CFL career, 5-year guy here with the Riders. That's probably a lot of responsibility that the team needs him to take, even if, you know, he wants to do it, but it's necessary as well, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And just give him a little bit of room here. And
round of applause from the crowd here at Mosaic and those fellow players down on the field as well. And of course, we wish Mike Edem all the best.
Greg Reynolds on the left and Jeremy O'Day, the general manager for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, on the right. Obviously concerned with their starting free safety.
Certainly been a tough season for the organization. Don't want to see anything like this near the end of it. Teammates will go over and offer some words of encouragement. For Edem, as he will now be taken off the field. Heavy collision, if you're just joining us. A heavy collision. Dedrick Mills, Calgary running back. Can't be easy for Mills in this situation either, knowing.
No, it's not.
You know,
I mean, not for either team, and you hate to see it. And you'll be taken care of and examined thoroughly.
11 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. As Calgary and the Riders will have to pick up where they left off.
It's difficult. It's difficult. You got to just try and lock your mind back in and play full speed again.
It's a 1st and 10 from the Saskatchewan 17. Mayer will hand it off. Mills pushing ahead all the way down to the 10. They'll give him 6 yards, and it'll be a 2nd and 4.
Well, like we saw last night with the BC Lions and James Butler, the Calgary run game has been the story of this tonight.
There will line up again here, 2nd and 4. That's Mills standing to his left. He'll give it to him. Mills lowering his shoulder, trying to push ahead. And he got close to where he needs to be, very close. Taking a couple of riders along for the ride. And they'll need another yard, so
short yardage comes in. Yep.
Tommy Stevens back into the game.
Is this the one where he fakes it, takes 2 steps back, and throws it to
throw them off a little bit here?
Throws it to Bryce Bell, who's checked in and is now eligible.
Big guy touchdown. Give me one. That'd be great. 9th play of the drive. Stevens will keep pushing ahead. Didn't get a great push. Didn't need a ton. Looks like he may have just got it.
By the way, a much better decision than
speak for yourself.
Stepping back and trying to throw it to an old lineman down the field. No, that's the play you got to make. That's the great call by Dave Dickinson down there on the sideline to say, go get the first down, get a new set inside the 10. Because they're not only trying to add to the lead, but they're also wanting to grind the clock.
Well, they can certainly do that with this ground attack. Kadeem Carey now checks back into the game. Couple of steps back in behind his quarterback. 2 options to the left, 1 up to the right. They will give it to Kadeem Carey, trying to cut it back, push it down towards the 5. Few heavy collisions in there as well.
Yeah, I know. You know, that kind of run is, or that kind of play is exactly what it plays more to the Saskatchewan defense. Exactly what Saskatchewan needs, because they're a little undersized in their D line with Pete Robertson and AC Leonard. So, and then you bring in your secondary Milligan, and you're really undersized. So if you can string it out and get more hats to the ball, you got a better chance to stop the run.
Over 200 yards rushing for Calgary in this game. We'll go back to Kadeem Carey again, cutting out towards the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown Calgary, second of the game for Carey. There are flags on the play, and it'll be a hold against the Stampeders.
Holding. Calgary number 67. It's 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Zach Williams, the left guard, will back this team up.
Zach Williams is working one-on-one with Miles Brown, and you're going to see textbook holding. Not just holding, but textbook holding. Twisted him all the way around, and that was right at the point of attack. Cannot be missed there from the official.
Closing in on a 7-minute drive by the Stampeders here in the fourth quarter, trying to ice the Riders' season. Mayer, far side to the corner, reaching back for it. Hauled in by Sindani. How's that for your first touchdown of the season? Richie Sindani, the third of his career, of the highlight variety. 14 yards, and Calgary opens it up.
Back shoulder throw outside by Jake Mayer. Three-man pressure. He steps up into it, and right on that outside shoulder. Beautiful catch by Richie Sindani. Touchdown number 1. That goes in the trophy case for 2022. Took him to week 17 to get her done.
Came up with a nice one, though, and a big one in this game. It's Calgary now in full control. Paredes out. Perfect on the night. Knocks it through. 32-14. The Stampeders on top. Jake Mayer's first passing touchdown of this game goes into the hands of Richie Sindani. Turns around. Eyes on it. Hands on it. Hauls it in. Calgary on top, 32-14. Exactly 8 minutes remaining in a game that the Riders simply have to have. And from this point on, they're going to need to be absolutely perfect on both sides of the football, trailing by 18. They do have that guy, Mario Alford, who certainly cut into this in a hurry. Takes it at the 15. Little bit of room all the way out to the 40. There's a flag on the far side of the field as he takes it over midfield, all the way down inside the Calgary 50. And we'll see what this flag is. Is this one coming back? Looks like it is.
During the return, holding, Saskatchewan number 22. 10-yard penalty. First down, Saskatchewan.
CJ Rivas taking a look at what just happened.
Let's go back to a great catch by Richie Sindani, U of Calgary product, who getting a chance to play, as I said, showing his versatility this year, playing a lot of different spots. But that's a big-time catch to the back shoulder, coverage all over him.
I was going to say, Brown played it okay, didn't he?
Well, he can't play it better. He can't be in better position. He's swatting at the ball, and just great concentration by Richie Sindani.
So instead of having the ball on Calgary's side of the field, the Riders now start on their own 15. Mason Fine, 11 of 17 for 118 yards. And they'll get it to Jamal Morrow. Gets a good block on the outside. He's got a big pickup on first down.
Yeah, now the clock becomes as much of an enemy as the Calgary defense for Mason Fine. He's got to get in and out of the huddle, get things going. It's a good start on this drive to get Jamal Morrow outside and get a new first down. New set of downs, new first.
Low snap, Fine went and got it. Moved it quickly. And got about 5 yards. on the completion.
Seen one deep throw from Mason Fine, I believe, if I remember correctly, that they missed. I think it was Kyron Moore in the first half, but at some point he's going to want to try to push the ball, maybe Keon Schaefer-Baker.
Longest catch of the game, 26 yards to Schaefer-Baker. This is going to be batted down at the line. Sean Lemon right in the face of the young quarterback, and that will bring up third down with 6:42 on the clock. 3rd and 6, and no movement from the Riders sideline.
Yeah, well, you're 3 possessions now. You've basically gotta go here, I think. But we haven't talked a lot about Sean Lemon tonight, but having a tremendous season. I mean, who's your nominee? I asked you that last week about Calgary, but
my answer is the same. I don't know.
You're not sure, but
stop asking me.
I like Sean Lemon. 13 sacks coming in, 2 back of the lead. Yep.
Forced 5 fumbles in doing so as well.
Calgary
didn't have the set they wanted. They were a lot of talk going on before that important 3rd and 6. So a smart timeout by Dave Dickinson to just make sure everybody on what is a key down here, because a win on defense puts you in field goal range automatically to add to it.
Craig Dickinson saying that he made the change at quarterback because the team needed to score more points. They've got 14 right now. Their last 2 games, they've scored 13 and 14. So same result despite different setup so far. Still 6.5 to play in this game. 3rd and 6, though, they got to have it here. Fine with 3 receivers, wide side left. Pressure taken down, and that'll do it. Fine hammer, but there's a flag on the play. Roughing the passer. It was a Rimolade who came around and hammered him. And Fine is hopping off the field with a limp, or he's on the field still, but does have a significant limp.
Cooper Richardson gets beat cleanly off the edge. I mean, Rimolade dips his inside shoulder and turns that corner in a split second. I'm not sure. We'll take another look to see where the penalty came in. I mean, watch how quickly he goes around Cooper Richardson here.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Calgary number 9. It's 15-yard penalty, an automatic first down.
Does he get him in the head? Yeah, he does.
Got him in the head.
That's exactly why.
Almost just like Fine sort of ducked like he was going to cover, and then boom, right in the head, right here.
Yeah, sometimes.
Right there.
Yeah, but he didn't move a whole lot. Sometimes the pass rusher will get the benefit of the doubt when he's being pushed and the quarterback ducks. But certainly head-to-head contact there.
Offense stays on the field. 3rd 15-yard penalty against Calgary. This time he'll get it to Morrill. Morrill turns, has a little bit of room, and he's got a first down up to the Calgary 50. Does Jamal Morrill, 11 yards to the running back for the Riders.
Boy, that matchup with Rimolade and Cooper Richardson happened again, and it was a straight bull rush from Rimolade, and he felt like he was held on the play by Richardson, but Richardson steps out on him this time. I'll give him that. He got out there quickly so he wouldn't get beat around the corner, and then it was a bull rush.
From the Calgary 50 for Fine. They'll try to set it up. Morrill bounced back, got to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard further upfield, and now flags at the end of the play. Stampeders a little undisciplined here on this drive. Seemed like some late pushing and then multiple flags flying out onto the field.
Misconduct foul. Calgary number 41. 15 yards at the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Mike Rose heated in the moment.
Well, there's why. There's the penalty clearly, and you know, I saw the play from start to finish, and Rose got kind of jammed into the ground from behind by Cooper Richardson, and then got caught on the retaliation.
Penalty-aided drive for the Riders continues. Morrow goes up and hauls it in. Nice work. Now he's got a first down inside the 25. And a first down for Saskatchewan. This time, no flags on the field.
Yeah, got to get in and out of the huddle, though. Again, need more than just this possession and this score. So
a lot more.
Yeah, Mason Fine's got to get in and out, calling on the line of scrimmage.
First and 10 from the Calgary 21. Morrow stands in to the left of his quarterback. Fine. He's going to take off. Looked like he had some room, but they closed quickly. That was Cam Judge who shut him down. You can see why he thought he could go.
Yeah, I saw what you saw, which it looked like Fine had a chance to bounce that outside, and he elected to cut back, and Cam Judge just kind of was patient with him.
Second and 9 for Fine. 4.5 to play. Down 18. And down again is where he goes. Fraser Sopik overpowering Jamal Morrow.
Yeah, this is just a collapse of the pocket. There wasn't really one guy or another that got beat. The pocket just got pushed back into the face of Mason Fine, and it just sort of collapsed on him. Sopik's going to be added into the pass rush off the edge, and he's going to bull rush on Morrow, but you see that entire pocket just get swept by him.
All the way by him, yeah. Riders call a timeout. 3rd and 13. What do you drop on this one, Glenn?
I might just take a shot at, a Schaefer Baker down the sideline throw and see if he can win that jump ball. Give him a chance. Throw it up, and again, you're trying to save as much time as you can, too.
2 targets for Schaefer Baker tonight. Caught them both for 40 yards. 3rd and 13 from the Calgary 24. Fine. Out on the run to the right. All the Stampeders are coming, and he's going to have to throw it away, and that'll fall incomplete. Turnover on downs. No flags on that play. Calgary will have the ball when we return, as the Riders season full-blown on life support right now. Tonight with the Riders and Stamps. Same thing next week out in Calgary. About 4 minutes remaining here, and Jake Mayer, who's put together some pretty decent drives in the second half, will have a chance to officially seal this one away. We'll hand it off and push ahead. Calgary, even last week, especially with the turnovers in the first half, a little bit slow offensively in the first half. Tonight, a little bit slow offensively in the first half. Really came together in the second.
Well, against Hamilton last week, Jake Mayer will say it was awful in the first half. You were being nice saying a little bit slow, but yeah, I mean, this team is like, as we talked about earlier, just so even-keeled. Sometimes something bad will happen, they'll just stay with it, stay with the game plan, keep pushing forward. When good things happen, they do the same thing. But listen, for Saskatchewan, we can talk about the quarterback change till we're blue in the face, but at the end of the day, if you give up 200 yards rushing, you're not going to win.
That's exactly what happened tonight, which is more than double what they've allowed during the season. Now, 6th in the league in run defense, about 100 yards, but tonight, I mean, if Calgary really wanted to push it, Mills and Carey probably could have both taken a run at 100 yards themselves tonight. That's the type of night that it has been as we hit 3 minutes in Mosaic. We'll be back with Calgary on top. Time now for your Advil Dual Action Play of the Game.
Honorable mention to the 26, any one of the 26 carries by the tailbacks for Calgary, but the Richie Sindani catch. Back shoulder, fade route, one-hander, and then brought the right hand in after.
Full-blown thriller there, eh? Michael Jackson.
Thriller, yeah, a little thriller. Closing in on Halloween.
Moonwalk into the thriller, real collage there. Michael Jackson moves. 2 touchdowns last year for Sindani. Didn't have one this year. Now he does. And this is your Advil dual action play of the game. Mario Alford with flags on the play. And he'll be wrapped up just shy of his own 40. With 2 minutes and 31 seconds left. We'll get another look at Mason Fine. How do you summarize this night tonight?
Well, you know, I don't think they showed that it was, you know, a massive improvement.
During the return, holding, Saskatchewan number 3. 10-yard penalty, first down, Saskatchewan.
Listen, he did some good things. He made some good throws. He did some things that, you know, that were frustrating a lot of fans here in Saskatchewan that Cody Fajardo was, you know, was doing when he was looking at the rush or ducking and scrambling too soon, you know, in the opinion of a lot of people in this province. But Mason Fine didn't do that tonight in a few throws. He kept his eyes downfield, made a couple of good throws, but the result is the same. I mean, he's got sacked a few times. He's 14 points. That's the second one of those. And did it give them, I guess you go back to the question, did this change give them a better chance to win tonight? And I don't think you can say yes to that.
To be fair to Mason Fine, I would say you took, and I know it hasn't been a great season, but I think you took your best chance to win this game out of the game tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, because he's battle tested, and I know, you know, I know the last month and a half has not been very good, but like, that's a good throw.
Great throw, and Schaefer Baker's the right guy to go up and get it. Mason Fine finding Baker for the 3rd time.
Yeah, and Baker, by the way, was open on the 3rd down play down here. And in fairness to Mason Fine on that, he got flushed away from his #1 receiver in Schaefer Baker. But again, we've seen 4 or 5 of these. You know, good throws, good pocket presence, good composure back there.
Down the field again, and it's Lennius who goes up and gets it this time. Also a big target downfield. And Fine, you know, he looked after the football tonight. Hasn't thrown an interception, has the touchdown. You know, for a guy making his first start, certainly not a bad night by any stretch of the imagination.
No,
but the Riders
not.
just simply, as a team, needed more tonight to keep their season alive.
Yeah, and their defense needed to get off the field too.
Yeah. Time of possession in the first half. Calgary had the ball for about 6 more minutes in the first half of this game. Here's Fine. Flag on the play in the area of holding, and Fine will just throw it away. You know, Cody Fajardo this week talked in local media basically like his time here is done.
Well, you got to believe that if Jason Moss,
number 66, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
If Jason Moss, Craig Dickinson, Jeremy O'Day are back, then you have to believe that Cody Fajardo won't be.
I think tonight's a pretty clear indication your season's on the line and you went away from him, right? So
exactly, and you know, and I think a month and a half or 2 months ago, Dave Dickinson made the decision on the other sideline for his Hall of Fame quarterback in Bo Levi Mitchell that it was that the Jake Mayer time was beginning.
And that was interesting because Bo Levi was 6-3 at the time when they made the switch. This one's gonna fall incomplete. Now it'll be 2nd and 20.
Now the hot rumor around here,
don't do it.
Change in quarterback. Oh yeah, I'm doing it. Oh, I am for sure doing it. Is could Bo Levi Mitchell be wearing a Saskatchewan Roughrider jersey next year?
Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, I'm here for the storylines. I am here for the storyline next year. Calgary rolls in. Bo Levi's 3-0 with the Riders. Did they let him go? Like, it writes itself. It would be ridiculous. Another completion for Fine on 2nd and 20, though.
Now, keep in mind on this drive, Calgary's playing differently defensively, and you know, first of all, Bo Levi Mitchell, I think he's got game left. That's got to be the first consideration. You know, how is his shoulder? And whatever team looks at him next year, you know, that's got to be their #1 priority. Make sure that he is 100% healthy. But I think he's got game back, and I think he'd love to get out there and prove it to people.
Here's Fine in trouble, trying to get away, and he does. Now he's going to take off. Careful, they're coming from behind, and he gets it away. Boy, tracked down by by Judge just as he got rid of it. Mason Fine, the definition of running for your life here.
Yeah, and Cameron Judge just as tired chasing him. You know, a couple of times Brent Watson, and I haven't mentioned it, but I've noticed it, that he will put Cam Judge in a spy.
Quarterback is down by contact at center field. It's third down.
In a spy technique.
It's first down.
In other words, he's not blitzing and he's not dropping into coverage. He's just about 2 yards off the line of scrimmage in a spy technique if the quarterback scrambles, and then it's up to him to chase him down, and that's exactly what he did there.
Turnover on downs, and Calgary will take over at midfield, leading 32-14. Jake Mayer, 205 yards, touchdown. Most of the damage in this game done on the ground by Dedrick Mills. That'll give him over 100 yards in this game. So Fajardo on one sideline watching on, Bo Levi on the other. How about the numbers for these two guys?
Well, this one's going in the Hall of Fame, you know, and this guy, look at that's a real good record. 11,000 yards passing. You know, was banged up and had the knee injury for a lot of this season. That will be healthy again next year. He will be very tempting for a lot of teams. You know, again, if the coaching staff here in Saskatchewan are back, it's hard to imagine that Cody Fajardo will be. So
the last couple of seasons in the playoffs, I mean, they weren't far off.
How about a full-on Grey Cup week? Now most of the time this kind of stuff doesn't happen Grey Cup week. There's not trades and things like that. Can't do that. But
you can have rumors, though.
Oh, we can speculate.
You can make up anything you want in Grey Cup week.
It can be your truth.
Well, they'll try to move the ball ahead. Nowhere to go on that one.
But you know, the playoff teams and the setup right now, and I look at the West Division to start with. This Calgary Stampeder team with tremendous balance. We've talked about it all night. A great running game, whether it's Dedrick Mills or Peyton Logan with Kadeem Carey. A well-coached team that's going to improve to 11-6. Again, double-digit wins for Dave Dickinson's team. Now they got to clean up their discipline over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yes.
Just recently. But their quarterback situation for this playoff run,
in a pretty good spot.
Very well managed. And
yeah, if Jake Mayer, for some reason, and we don't expect him to, but if for some reason he was to stumble, you've got a future Hall of Famer sitting there on the sideline.
Yeah,
which comes back around to the discussion that so many people had. Here goes Mario Alford on the far side of the field, all the way up to the 40. I don't see a flag as he takes it back inside at the 40. Tripped up, stays on his feet. He's still going. Can he get a block? He will. Down to the 20, to the 10, all the way home for Mario Alford. Two kick return touchdowns this season. A missed field goal touchdown this season. And now he takes that one back.
yeah, I would put this up as one of the best decisions and one of the best things that Jeremy O'Day has done this year was to bring in Mario Alford to give that return game a lift, and boy, has he ever. And, you know, what I love about this run more than anything is this game is over, but he didn't quit. 104 yards for Mario Alford. Great season again. And really showcasing one of the just one of the great aspects of Canadian football, and that's a return game. 7 kick returns this year for touchdowns, a couple of punt returns. Janarian Grant, now he gets a punt return.
Well, he did them all 3. Missed field goal, 2 kick returns,
missed field goals. That's why
hit for the cycle
after the Toronto game, and I know people will talk about the single winning the game for Toronto on a missed field goal, but it's the missed field goal and the special team return of missed field goals. That's why that rule is important to keep in. It's not celebrating a miss or celebrating a mistake. It's allowing for big plays in the missed field goal return game, because you can play all of those misses with the goalposts up at the goal line, and that's. Hey, stop playing, but you know, he's put on a show. Yeah, special athlete, absolutely.
Was a good pickup, and if he's around next year, their return game will be mighty fine. Brain trust of the Riders. Lots of decisions to be made on a number of different levels within the organization, but a nice way for Super Mario to wrap up the night tonight.
Onside kick time. Keon Schaefer-Baker will go out there.
You get this, you take it all the way back, then you do it again. You kick a field goal, and look at this, 32-21. They'll toss it up. That's batted around. The Riders say they are on it. There's going to be a mad fight for that football, and Saskatchewan comes up with it. Emilus at the bottom of the pile.
You can't kick it any better on an onside kick. Now it wasn't producer Dustin's exact script, but Saskatchewan does recover.
Emilus just went in there and got it.
But that ball is placed right where it has to be. That's 1 yard past the 10-yard mark that it has to travel to be live.
Emilus will stay out on the field. Mason Fine rushing back out here with 35 seconds on the clock. He's going to be in trouble. Taken down. It's Lemon all over him immediately. 14th sack of the season for number 40.
And he's got one more game. Of course, so does Malden, but that race continues for the sack leader of the 22 season.
9-yard loss, 2nd and 19 for Fine. Clock ticks down to 20 seconds. Has to step up in the pocket. They're just trying to get to him again, and they'll take him down. Ball popped loose. Rimolade and Lemon were both there all over him.
Who gets credit for that? Because that was behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was another sack.
And Rimolade and Lemon get there at about the same time. Now, Rimolade, I believe, has his legs. There's Lemon. There's the bookends. See who they get credit for, because if they give this to Sean Lemon, he is now tied for the league lead. He gets that final push and knocks it out, but
it was a Rimolade who had the jersey.
Had the jersey and the legs, yeah.
It will be a 3rd down. He was down before that ball came out. Still waiting to see who they ended up giving that sack to.
Yeah, reload the stats. Let's keep her going.
They did give it to a Rimolade. All right, so that's his 6th of the season. Lemon remains stuck at 14. 3rd and 23 here for the Riders, and they've seen enough. They'll step up and take a knee, and their playoff hopes officially eliminated, and some big questions to be answered here in Saskatchewan.
And boy, does the Hamilton Tiger Cats become an interesting team in the playoffs. And no disrespect to Montreal or Toronto, and Toronto's going to host the final, but that Hamilton team is interesting to me in the playoffs.
Well, they've certainly got the experience from the last couple of seasons. Not to be this year for the Riders. Thought maybe a crossover could be there for them after a 4-1 start. They let it slip away and will miss the postseason. Calgary continues to roll as they heat up. 1 week left in the regular season, and then they will get the BC Lions in the playoffs. 32-21 your final. Good night from Mosaic.